Welcome to the channel and welcome to this 2000 point battle report between Grey Knights and Necrons. So a new Necron dynasty has arisen, the Laputa dynasty. They're waking up all across this system. And here is one of their ancient facilities, which they locked away 70 million years ago. And there are warp entities here, frozen in carbonite. And this place is powering up and powering up and powering up. And should it reach max capacity, these frozen warp entities here will rip a hole in space and time. The warp will come spilling out across this planet. So the Grey Knights have been unleashed. The prognosticators have seen the future and seen that terrible things will befall this world. So the Grey Knights are here, expecting probably to run into demons and stuff like that. But no, the Necrons are here instead. So we drew a mission from the open war deck, and for the first time in ever, we've got a standard deployment. Basically, the Grey Knights and Necrons are already fighting each other by the time this battle report starts. Grey Knights are already inside the facility trying to shut it down, and also out in the wastes out here trying to break their way in. Standard deployment. We're playing domination. Now, the way domination works is at the end of every battle round, you get a point if you kill more, and you get a point if you control more objectives. So remember, a battle round, it consists of 2 player turns. So he who goes second actually has the advantage here, because I could go first and be on 3 objectives at the end of my turn, but my opponent could push me off 2 of them by the end of the battle round. And you score 1 point if you control more objectives at the end of the battle round, and 1 point if you kill more. And these heat exchangers here, thrumming away, are 2 of the objectives. There's 1 back here, there's 1 right in the central doorway, and 2 out in the wasteland. And what we're saying as well is, we've agreed that these heat exchangers will be -1 if you shoot through them. Like they provide dense cover. I can imagine the air crackling and electricity, and you can barely see through the other side. So these are going to be -1. We've got some significant line of sight blocking up here, then open play in the middle, and some significant line of sight blocking here. We're also saying that these ruins, these walls, are not breachable or scalable. So if you've got infantry on this side and your enemy is on the other side, you can't just charge through. You have to go round. These walls are thick. They are part of this massive ancient fortification that was built here millions of years ago by the Necrons. And then also, quite fittingly, we have last stand. Units automatically pass morale. The Necrons are not going anywhere. They have awoken. They've come from the forests and the swamps to the south. They've come to this facility to turn this thing on, and they will not back down. And of course, the Grey Knights know that the whole of space-time across this planet will be ripped in 2 if they back down. So no morale tests whatsoever. Scoring objectives and killing stuff, and standard deployment. Stuff and things, in case you're interested in the scenery that we have here. I forget who manufactured this battle map, but they're no longer available after COVID. This battle map here is made by P-Work War Games. They're an Italian company, and all the scenery that you see are made by GameMat.eu. They also make battle mats as well, but this is pre-painted, pre-assembled terrain. You just break it out of the pack and you're good to go. So it's domination, the Grey Knights and the Necrons battling to the death to make sure this facility gets shut down or powers up. And we welcome to the channel for the first time Swamp Song. Say hi, Swamp Song.
Hi, Swamp Song.
Thanks for coming down. So you're back to the hobby. You're back to the hobby 2.5 years ago?
Yeah, about that now, yes. Yeah. After a very long break.
How long is the long break?
Too long. About 20 years, maybe,
20 years?
Something like that.
You played back in 2nd edition.
I did, yeah.
So you came back in at what, start of 8th edition, something like that?
No, about when there was only about a year left, I think. Something like that. So yeah.
So middle of 8th.
Yeah.
You came back. So only a couple of years now. So 1 or 2 armies?
No, 6 now.
You got 6 armies.
Yes. Yeah.
And when did you start the Necrons?
This was a lockdown project.
Lockdown. So, how many points of Necrons you
got? In total, about 2,500, something like that. I think
2,500 points of Necron lockdown army to add to the other 5 armies that you now have. Should we take?
It's kind of snowballed a bit. Yeah.
Cool. So you've come down because you're a member of the DZTV Discord.
That's right.
You hit me up. You're also at one of the DZ days.
Yes, the last one, the previous one, yes.
The previous one, which was our event up in Belper in Nottingham. You got to see, you got to get sweaty in the room with everyone else.
It was a good day. Yeah.
But you brought your custodies to that one.
I did, and they didn't do very well, to be fair.
Well, we had super heavies on the DZ day.
To be fair, yeah.
You were on the Tyranid table. There was like a Bar Paradule, there was the big Bio-Titan, there was... Lots of stuff. Did the custodies take out a major prize? Did you actually take down one of the major things?
I didn't know.
No?
No, not me personally.
It's okay, we can edit this out. Here's my 2,000 points worth of Grey Knights. I haven't spent any extra CP. It's a battalion. I've got 12 to play with. And the reason why I haven't spent any extra CP here or there is because I found the Grey Knight book to be very CP hungry. I want to spend it all on strats. I have got a Grandmaster in my army, just a standard Grandmaster with a side cannon and a pair of falchions for those extra attacks. He's my protector dude. He's got Sanctuary and Gate. So Sanctuary allows me to throw up a 4-up invulnerable save on any Grey Knight unit. You could make the Terminators go from a 5-up to a 4-up, or I could put it out onto a normal team without invulnerable saves and give him a 4-up invulnerable save. So he's got Sanctuary for a 4-up invulnerable save. He's got Gate, which means I can redeploy any unit which is 18 inches away. So Gate, Sanctuary, that's what he does. He can only cast 1 psychic power, however. And the Librarian can cast 2 psychic powers, and he is my Smite machine. Because as well as Smite, he's got Vortex of Doom and Purifying Flame. And Purifying Flame is like a 9-inch smite that does a flat 3 damage. So he's my Mind Bullet guy. Smite 18-inch range, Vortex of Doom 12-inch range, Purifying Flame 9-inch range, and he can do 2 powers. Mind Bullets all the way. And I've given him the Warlord trait Psychic Epitome, which means that when he does damage with those powers, he does an extra 1 mortal wound. So a potential of doing 2 Mind Bullet powers a turn and getting 1 mortal wound for 1 power and an additional mortal wound for 1 power, as well as the mortal wounds that those powers chuck out. And to make him even more nasty, I've given him the Fury of Demios Stormbolter. It's a rapid fire 3, strength 5, -2, 2 damage gun. Doesn't sound like much, but rapid fire 3 is basically 6 shots at 24-inch range because he's in Terminator armor. So that's a 6-shot Stormbolter, strength 5, -2, 2 damage, fruity. The idea is to bury him back somewhere, keep him safe, smiting away or vortexing of doom away with his extra mortal wound output with his Warlord trait. And then we have the Grandmaster moving around with them as well. Now, Grey Knights, everyone gets Smite and everyone gets a Brotherhood psychic power. And I've picked the Brotherhood, the Preservers. And the psychic power for the Preservers is, if you cast it on a 6-up, you get a 6-up Feel No Pain. So I can only do it once, unless a certain Tide of the Warp is in effect. But can only do it once, and you get a 6-up Feel No Pain. However, if you're in range of an Apothecary, because Apothecaries normally give out a 6-up Feel No Pain anyway, give out a 6-up Shrug anyway. If you're in range of an Apothecary, and that psychic power is in effect, then you get your 5-up Shrug. So here's an Apothecary. So the Apothecary here will be running around, and he'll have the Warp Shaping psychic power that allows me to shift which tides of the Warp is in effect. Because normally what happens with Grey Knights is you start off in the Tide of Shadows, and in the Tide of Shadows, so long as you're more than 12 inches away from the enemy, you get a +1 armor save. And if you're already receiving the benefits of light cover, then you're also -1 to hit as well. So he's my Tides guy, and which will keep people safe with the Tide of Shadows. Then he can switch it to the Tides of Convergence or something. And he gives a 6-up Shrug. And if a unit gets up for that psychic power within range of him, with 3-inch range of him, that's a 5-up Shrug. Because Grey Knights, for all their tremendous offensive output, remember everything here can smite. Everything here's pretty much got storm bolters. Everything here's got close combat power weapons, nemesis force weapons. Grey Knights are an absolute blender. The closer you get to them, they start putting out more and more wounds. Everything here's got 24-inch range shots. So 24-inch range, then I'm reaching out and touching you. 18-inch range, I'm smiting you. Close combat, I'm hitting you with lots and lots of force weapons. But the trick for Grey Knights is actually getting them there, because they die like normal Space Marines. These are toughness 4, 2 wound, 3 up save Space Marines. These are Terminators with the standard save of Terminators. So they die like normal Space Marines. And I've been finding on the missions where I die with them, I die hard. Die Hard. Great movie. So I'm making them preservers and bringing along a apothecary to try and keep them safe. To try and add some resilience to an army that when it falls off a cliff, it falls off a cliff hard. So that's why he's got Sanctuary and Gate. That's why he's more offensive, my librarian, this time. And that's why I've got an apothecary with warp shaping. Looking after a unit of 10 Terminators, there are 4 Nemesis Demon Hammers in here, 2 Side Cannons in here, and a Stave. Why a Stave? Because there is a 1 CP strat, which is when you shoot at them, they can get a 4-up invulnerable save. So imagine a unit of Terminators with a 4-up invulnerable save, just like shields, with him nearby, with a 5-up shrug. Now, apothecaries also can heal D3 wounds a turn, just like standard Space Marines apothecaries can. But you know that ability in the Space Marine book where you can make someone a chief apothecary and he picks someone up for free? You can't do that in Grey Knights. Instead, you spend a CP and you can pick someone up. So as well as providing a 5-up shrug for these guys, every turn if one of them dies, I could spend a CP and put 1 back in, and put 1 back in the next turn, and put 1 back in the next turn. But I have to spend the CP on it. The idea is, I've got a big blob of 10 Terminators, which have got objectives secured. They are troops in a Space Marine book. Terminators, just standard Terminators, are troops in the troop slots. Amazing. The idea that this unit stay around with a 4-up invulnerable save and a 5-up shrug and hold the middle of the board and basically are a pain in the butt. That's what they're there to do. And if I need to gate them away, redeploy them away, I can. So that's the Preservers. Everyone's got Smite. Everyone's got the 6-up thing. Mortal Wound. Right. I've got a unit of troops and a unit of troops, and Grey Knights have psychic powers locked in. So as well as Smite and as well as the Brotherhood psychic power, each unit has their own psychic power. Every unit on the table here can cast 1 psychic power a turn, except for the Librarian who could cast 2. But every unit here knows at least 3, the Brotherhood, the Smite, and their own personal one. So the Strike Squad teams and the Terminators know Hammerhand, which is reroll wounds. These guys, the Interceptors, the guys with the spiky bits at their backpack, these have got warp jump generators. They flick in and out of the warp. If they cast their psychic power, they can shoot and move in the psychic phase. And then I've got a unit of Purgators, because I haven't got much long-range dagger in this squad. I mean, my Grandmaster's got a sight cannon. There's 2 sight cannons in here. And then the Purgators here. They ignore the benefits of cover, so they'll ignore dents, they ignore light, they ignore that sort of stuff. The sight cannons are basically 3-shot auto cannons, 24-inch range auto cannons, strength 7 -1, 2 damage, but they do 3 shots each. Their psychic power allows them to ignore the benefits of cover and reroll 1 hit. So they're a backfield shooty type unit, but they are heavy, by the way, sight cannons. If I move, I'll be hitting on 4s with them. 2 Dread Knights, because they're just so good. I mean, they're 155 points with this loadout, so 310 points for those 2 guys there. And they have 13 wounds each and a 4-up invulnerable save each. They're just so good. So they have to come along, and they're punchy. And then this time round, I brought a unit of Paladins. So Paladins have the same save as Grey Knights, but what you get for your 5 points more is they hit on 2s in close combat and they get an additional attack. The other thing that happens is they're not part of the Brotherhood. Grey Knights are all Brotherhoods, basically whole chapters of themselves roaming around doing their thing. And Paladins and Purifiers and stuff like that are sat back on Titan doing other things. These are basically Grandmasters in waiting, so they're not part of a Brotherhood. Instead, you give them 2 psychic powers. They can cast 1, as well as Smite, but you give them 2 psychic powers. So I've given them Armoured Resilience and Purifying Flame. So 1 offensive and 1 defensive. Armoured Resilience can improve their armor save to a 1-up. And Purifying Flame is that more devastating smite. That's a flat 3 damage smite within 9 inches. I keep saying that Purifying Flame is a more devastating smite. You know, like on smite on a 11 plus, you get D6 damage for smite. Well, on 11 plus for Purifying Flame, you get D3 plus 3 damage. So it's a more devastating smite. So that's what they're doing. Yeah, so we have mind bullets, we have short range, we have the ability to teleport all over the place as well. Everyone has teleport homers, everyone has, not teleport homers, teleport strike ability, everyone has bolter discipline, but there are no combat doctrines here. There's no heavy devastator, tactical doctrine, that sort of thing. So there are Space Marines, they die like Space Marines, but it is a mid-range army with mind bullets and everyone's got a power weapon. And if you get in close combat with them, it's nasty. The idea is he has the Tide of Shadows at the start to give everyone bonuses to cover. And then he switches to the Tides of Convergence when we start getting messy. And Tide of Convergence means that the psi cannons and the psi weapons that these guys have and these guys have suddenly go from 24-inch range out to 30-inch range. And Tide of Convergence means in close combat, 6s to wound with Nemesis weapons, and all the blue weapons are Nemesis weapons. 6s to wound with Nemesis weapons become mortal wounds in addition. So you really don't want to get in close combat with Grey Knights. So this is version 2 of the lists that I've been playing around with, because they've been dying a bit too hard in places, trying to keep them alive, and other units jumping around the edges should be doing all the scoring for me. I like this list. I think it should be pokey, I think. But we're going up against the undying legions of the Necrons, and they have an awful lot of gun. So let's go and have a look at them now. And this is 1995 points worth of Necrons. It's a battalion and the one with all the heavies in it, because you've got 4 heavies, you spent 3 CP already, dropping you down to 9. Talk us through your dynasty. What am I looking at here?
Okay, so this is the Laputa dynasty.
Laputa.
This was my lockdown project.
Yes.
So the idea is that they've just essentially been locked in for thousands of years, unable to move. And hence all the moss and plants growing up over them.
Okay.
And
so they were frozen solid for thousands and thousands of years all across this sector.
Yeah.
Nice.
So and then the Return of the Silent King is the sort of catalyst that's woken them up.
Okay. So the big boys come back. They've woken up, and all the bugs and all the beetles of this bases that you've done are absolutely gorgeous, by the way.
Thank you.
And they're making their way towards this facility and powering everything up. Some doomsday weapon, some rip in space and time. Cool. What do they do on the battlefield? What dynasty do you follow?
Right, so using a custom one.
Nice.
So we've got, where are we? Eternal Conquerors.
Right, what does that do?
It gives everything OBSEC.
Everything?
Absolutely everything.
That is a beautiful Necron
very,
ability.
very helpful.
I love it.
And then I've taken Isolationists, which means that all of the rapid fire weapons, as long as you're within 12 inches, get an extra 1 to strength characteristic.
Okay, so all these warriors here, within 12-inch range, there's a strength 5 stuff, because they're rapid fire.
Yeah.
I think they got a little bit of rapid fire. You've got the assault ones over there.
Yeah, assault on those, yeah.
Cool, okay. So let's talk through what we got. Warlord trait, relics and things.
Right, so the Scorpic Lord is the Warlord.
Yes.
He's got Enduring Will.
Okay.
Which gives him -1 to all damage.
So it becomes a dreadnought.
Essentially. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And he's got the he's not got the relic. The Royal Warden here has the relic, which is the Veil of Darkness.
Okay.
Which allows him plus 1 of the core unit to essentially teleport anywhere else.
Redeploy. It's a once per battle thing, isn't it?
It is, yes. Yeah.
So the Royal Warden and a unit can redeploy somewhere at some point.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
He's got -1 to damage coming in. The Royal Warden as well can point at a unit to fall back, shoot and charge.
He can, yes. Yeah, very
Okay,
useful.
so you've got movement options with the Royal Warden.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's worth pointing out that destroyers reroll hit rolls of 1 because they've got Eternal Hatred or something?
That's the one, yeah.
They reroll hit rolls of 1. And next to a Scorpic Lord, they can also reroll wound rolls of 1 or reroll
wound rolls of 1, yes.
Yeah, okay. So if you put him next to these guys, they're rerolling hit rolls of 1 and rerolling wound rolls of 1.
Yes.
Which makes him absolutely brutal. And he's a beast anyway. He's got 4 up and vulnerable save, hasn't he?
I believe so, yes.
He's an absolute beast. Cool. Who's this fella over here?
So that's my Technomancer.
Spiky boy.
Yeah, very spiky boy.
I like it. That must be really easy to transport everywhere.
Oh, yes. Yeah. It's, it's very, very, very delicate.
Okay.
But yeah, so he is Technomancer. And he spent the extra 15 points to give him a Canoptic control node.
What does that do?
It means that as long as he's within 6 inches of any Canoptic units,
yes,
which is really just these guys or the Doom Stalkers, which is
okay,
he gives them +1 to hit.
Right, okay, because Canoptic Doomstalkers have a ballistic skill of 4 up, so they're hitting on 4s.
Yes.
And then if this fella is within 6 inches of them, they're hitting on 3s.
They are, yes.
Because those are very swingy weapons as they are, because they're D6 shots, right?
D6 shots and also D6 damage, so they kind of need a little
really
bit of, any help you can give them to bulk them up. But they are pretty nasty. So.
They are pretty nasty. I mean, they're really big guns of Doom, but D6 shots, D6 damage, very swingy. But these guys have a 4 up invulnerable save?
Yeah, that's right.
A flat 4, so they're ignoring 50% of all the damage coming through. Anyway, and that's pretty much your... I was going to say that's pretty much your long-range dagger. Yeah. And this is one big unit of 7?
It is, yeah. So you've got 6 of the standard ones, and there's 1 heavy in there as well. 1
heavy. And there's a lovely strat called Elimination Protocols.
Yes,
they can reroll hits and
reroll wounds.
Reroll wounds. Yes. So the rerolling hit rolls are 1 anyway because they're destroyers, and then they're just rerolling all wounds.
I believe so. Yeah. I think that's right.
And these are nasty guns. So you've got 36-inch range guns here, quite nasty. You've got these guys that are really nasty. You've got Scorpic Destroyers. They are Scorpic Destroyers.
That's right. Yeah.
These are your boys coming forward and chopping up as much as possible here. But it looks to me like you've only got one really, as well as your Warlord, you've got one really punchy unit coming forward. The rest is all about the gun.
That's correct, yes. Yeah, lots of shooty stuff.
So 2 units of 20 warriors with the Gauss.
With the Gauss flayers, and then 1 unit of 10 with the Gauss Reapers, which have a shorter range, but a bit more powerful. Yeah,
so Necrons can get back up again after they get shot.
Yeah.
That's their thing.
Yeah.
Everyone's fearless in this mission as well. You won't be taking morale checks, which will be helping you quite a bit, actually.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely.
What else can Necrons do? Living metal is a thing. Living metal is if anyone's wounded at the start of your turn, you gain a point.
You gain 1. Yeah, it's actually, I think it's everything here apart from the warriors has got living metal. So if you don't kill something at the start of my next turn, they're going to get a wound back.
They're going to get a wound back. And then there's protocols or something that you pick. So every single battle round, the orders, the protocols shift. Command protocols, that's what I was thinking about. These things that happen every turn. But in order to benefit from command protocols, you need a noble. You don't have any nobles.
I don't, no.
Everyone is just machine.
That's correct, yeah.
And are these guys mad?
That's the idea, yeah. There's no personalities, no one speaks, they're all just... crazy machines.
I guess if you're locked into place for tens of thousands of years, not moving, that thing will do something to you.
Absolutely,
yeah. Okay. So they don't know what they're doing. They're just waking up this thing, the machinery here, and it's going to crack a hole in warp space. And Necrons don't like warp space, but they're just following their protocols. They're just following their orders.
Yeah.
But not these protocols.
No.
Because there's no nobles nearby telling them, stop it, 1 minute, this is a bit silly. Yeah. Awesome. And we're deployed with this 2,000 point game of domination. I have a Dread Knight, some strike team, and both of the jumpy squads out here in the wastes. And all the big guns for the Necrons are inside the facility. In fact, all that's facing these right now are some Scarabs and a big unit of warriors. But you do have that redeploy strat with the Veil of Time?
Veil of Darkness.
Veil of Darkness, that's the thing. So that's what's out here. I have put my Paladins and my Librarian in reserve, ready to deep strike in and do some smite bomb damage when they appear. And then over this side, facing triple Doomstalkers. Are they called Doomstalkers?
They are Doomstalkers.
I actually got it right. Yeah. Doomstalkers and the Destroyers and the Destroyers and 20 Warriors facing all of that. Are 10 Paladins, my Apoth and my Grandmaster. The Purgators, a strike team, and a Nemesis Dread Knight. And that's it. There are 3 objectives down here, remember. Remember these heat exchanges as well will be -1 if you're shooting through them because because they're heat exchangers, they're very, very hot. One in the central way. And remember, we're trying to score objectives at the end of the battle round for 1 point if you have more, and kill more, 1 point at the end of the battle round. Is any of the Necrons in reserve at all?
No, everything's on the table.
Everything is on the table. We don't know who's going first yet, but your shooting phase could be brutal. By the way, this bases and these paint jobs are absolutely gorgeous. You tell me that you do commission work.
Yes, I do, yes.
So how would people get in contact with you for commission work?
Well, Instagram.
Yes.
So it's ott.terrain.
ott.terrain. Do you do terrain as well, or is that just painting?
Yeah, I do. Not as much these days, but I do, yes. Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're obviously a fast painter, because like 6 armies in a couple of years.
Too much of my time doing it these days, but yes.
Okay, so if you want to hit up Swamp Song, then ott.terrain on the Insta. Now we need to roll off, so who goes first. It's open play, you get to choose, it's not automatic.
Yes, yeah.
After you're the guest. So 6.
6.
These dice available from the Deployment Zone.tv merchandise page. 2. You can choose whether you want to go first or second, but I don't think it's much of a choice at all. Here we are after the movement phase for the Necrons. They went first. Remember, you score objectives at the end of the battle round, so the Grey Knights will have the advantage of jumping onto objectives. There's only a unit of Scarabs down here because the warriors shifted across into the facility. So currently the Necrons hold that objective down there. Warriors shifting across because there's a big Grey Knight presence out here in the wilds. And then one of the units of warriors has hopped up and over and is scoring that objective there. So you're only on 2 objectives.
At the moment, yes.
So if I get on 1 more than you, I will get 1 point at the end of the battle round.
Yes.
So the thought is just to hurt me.
That's the idea. I wanted to go first to try and do as much damage as I can without getting too close. So
the Doomstalkers have stayed still, because if they move... Basically, I love the rules for the Doomstalkers, which is they've got a certain amount of power. And if they move, then the guns are reduced in strength and damage. And if they stand still, then they can divert all power to those massive guns on the back. But we're going to start the shooting phase over here with this massive unit of destroyers, which are firing everything down at this Dread Knight here, and spending 2 CP on extermination protocols. So they're going to be re-rolling all wounds. Right, there's 4 heavy Gauss cannons in range, which are 24 inches. So that's 12 shots.
It is 12, yeah.
Okay, hitting on 3s. And you're re-rolling 1s because you really hate me. 9 hits, strength 6, toughness 6, winning on 4s. And that's really bad.
That is really bad.
Which is why you spent the CP to re-roll all wounds. At AP -3, I need 4 up and vulnerable saves, and I make 3 of them. So 4 go through. It's D3 each, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so 4 D3 damage each. And that's 6, 7, 8, 9 damage. It's down to 4 wounds remaining. And then there's the big gun of doom.
Yep, so single shot.
Single shot. Which hits.
Hits. Strength 10.
Okay, wounds on a 3. Yeah, which you can re-roll because of... Oh, I lucked out! It's on 4 wounds remaining. So the destroyers failed to bring down the Dread Knight with 1 volley of fire, but a lot of them were out of range there. He cannot withstand firepower of this magnitude 2 turns in a row. Interestingly enough, the only other thing in line of sight and range is the Doom Stalkers. So what do you want to do with this trio of pain, sir?
So, I'm going to start, work my way through these, depending on how much damage these can do to the Terminators. Then potentially put this last one into the Dread Knight.
So selecting 1 to shoot the Terminators, yeah? So then I'll spend 2 CP on Zone of Warding, because one of my sergeants got a staff, and it gets their 5 up in vulnerable save to a 4 up in vulnerable save. It's 2 CP if the squad is more than
5.
five.
Okay.
Okay, so D6 shots with the big gun of doom, right?
Yeah, that's right. So we're going to do 1 at a time. So this one...
Yes. 6 shots. Oh my. 3's to hit. And that's 4 hits. Statistically average. This is strength 10?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, winning on 2s. Ooh, there's 2 1s there. Come on, boy.
Gonna CP1.
Yeah, yes, okay, all right. Oh, it doesn't help you. Just 2 wounds get through. I have 2 4-up invulnerable saves. And I make 1 fail 1. How much damage?
D6.
D6 damage. This could be swingy as well for 2 damage. And there's an apothecary there. I don't shrug either of them. One of the Terminators is on 1 wound remaining. One of them didn't even kill a Terminator. So you're doing again with number 2. You got
Number
5
2,
shots
yeah.
this time, hitting on 3s. 4 hits come through, the same as last time. Wounding on 2s. Here's all the 1s. You didn't get any 1s this time. 4 of them got through.
Yep.
4 up and vulnerable saves. I think I'm going to CP one of these. No, I'm not. The first one's D6 and will kill this guy. How much damage is it? Because I do get shrugs. So the first one is 2, which I could shrug. No, he's dead. The second one is 5. And he's alive on 1 wound remaining. And then the last one is 5. So yeah, you killed 2 in the end. Okay. And you've still got 1 Doomstalker left. So you're going to put the third one into these guys as well, or where's the third one going?
No, we're going to put that into the Dread Knight.
Dread Knight.
-1 to hit.
It's going to be -1 to hit because you're going through the heat exchangers. Yep. Because there's a point for killing. Well, you've got to kill more than me.
Yes, that's right.
So, okay. So D6 shots with the Cannon of Doom. We have 6 shots again. You've been rolling hot for the number of shots. The hitting and wounding, not so much. 3s to hit.
4s.
4s to hit. Oh yes, because the heat exchanger.
1, yeah.
3 get through.
3.
Wounding on 3s. Strength 10, toughness 6. 1.
Just 1.
4 up invulnerable save. It's got 4 wounds remaining. And he makes the invulnerable save. And that is the end of the Necron shooting phase. They've killed a couple of Terminators. They've injured the Dread Knight. But they've actually removed, well, no full units. In fact, that's the very end of the Necron's turn. They haven't killed anything yet. So let's go on to Grey Knights. Turn 1. The Grey Knights advance forward for this game of domination, this battle of domination. As you didn't kill anything, and you're only on 2 objectives, if I kill 1 thing, that's a point for me. And if I get on 3 objectives, that's an additional point. So the Purgation Squad have hopped up here, and the Strike Team are on this squad here. Now the plan is, these guys have got Ethereal Castigation. They can shoot and move in the Psychic phase. So I only need that power to go off once, and I can drop down onto the central objective. I get a point. And kill something. Well, you've got a unit of Scarabs over here hanging in the wind. So I'm thinking about gating something over there and wiping them out. After one of these squads, this squad here, can see down underneath the barricade and hit the Scarabs. The other squad do not have line of sight because it's quite significant. So that's the thing there. What I've also done is I've spent a CP on Chirurgic Resurrection. Something Resurrection, which is impossible to say, costs a CP, and I can put a dude back in. So the 8-man unit goes back up to 9. He miraculously heals some. It's probably worth mentioning as well, right now the Tide of Shadows is in effect. So essentially all my army has light cover. And if a unit is already receiving the benefits of light cover, such as the Terminators here, they will be -1 to hit. That's the Tide of Shadows. My Grandmaster's here granting these guys a reroll once. Now, I didn't want to push this way round because there's a lot coming this way round towards me. So this Strike Squad team has hacked back over the barricade, kind of leaving the Dread Knight hanging, but his range and his mobility is significantly reduced. If I could have gone first, I could have pushed up quite hard. But you've got a lot of destroyers coming this way. So he's going to do what he can before he dies, essentially. So we're going to go on to the Psychic phase. First up, I need to gate. I want to gate the Dread Knight over there. And that fails. So let's spend a CP on that. And that passes. So the Dread Knight will disappear from here and go over there like that and fire through the trees and try and burn away the Scarabs. Next thing I'm going to do is try and cast I forget what it's called. Ethereal Castigation, Warp Charge 6. And that passes. That means this unit can now shoot and then move. And they're shooting at the Scarabs, hitting on 3s. And Scarabs are toughness 3, so I'm wounding on 3s. And that is 6 wounds. And they have 6 up saves. And you make one of them, but they've got 4 wounds each.
They're 4 wounds each.
So kills a base, drops 1 down to 3 wounds remaining. Then this squad jumps and teleports down next to this objective here. And now I'm on 3 objectives. There is a massive squad of 20 warriors here. Remember, we can't go through these walls. We're not saying they're scalable. So I should be okay for a turn before they come round and shoot at them. But the second squad up here, they're definitely not okay. So let's also do Ethereal Castigation on them. Now the way it works is, on the Santic Discipline, it's a +1, just like Smite. So it was a 6. These guys need a 7. They fail. So they're kind of hanging in the wind. They still will be able to shoot down at some of the warriors, but the idea was to shoot and then move and hide them as well. That's 2 psychic powers. These could do Hammer Hand. Something could teleport back here, so let's Hammer Hand them. And that passes, just in case they get charged. Right. What to do down here? He's done teleport. They've got the +1 to the armor. Oh, that's it. They need to do their Brotherhood Psychic Power, something Aegis. And that passes. And that means that they now have a 6-up Feel No Pain, but because they're within range of an Apothecary, they now have a 5-up Shrug. So that -1 to hit behind the barricade with a 1-up save and a 5-up Shrug. They're going to be around forever. And then I'm going to do Astral Aim on the Purgators. And that passes, I think that's a 6 to pass. This means they ignore cover. They ignore the benefits of cover because they're going to fire through at that squad down there. And I think that's about it. Yeah, that's about it for now. Now we're going to go on to the shooting phase. So they're hammer-handed up. Over here, he could get charged. I'll hammer-hand him. I could smite him. I'll hammer-hand him. And he's got hammer-hand as well. So right and left flank are protected with hammer-hand. We're now on to the shooting phase. I'm going to start with the Purgators. Let's start with the Purgators. Right, I'm spending a CP on Psychic Onslaught, so the Psi weapons, instead of AP -1, become AP -2, and we're going to shoot through at these Scorpic Destroyers before they come charging down towards me. They have 3 shots each, but only 3 of them can shoot. They are heavy weapons. I moved, so I'm hitting on 4s. I'm re-rolling 1s because there's a Grandmaster nearby. And you re-roll another hit. That's what their Psychic Power does. So re-roll 1s and you re-roll a hit. And they're Strength 7 versus Scorpic Destroyers, so I'm wounding on 3s. And that's 5 wounds at AP -2, 2 damage. 5-up saves. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. That kills 2 of them. 2 models wiped out, so reanimation protocols kicks in. So that's a total of 6 wounds and
not enough.
And in any 5s or 6s, if you had 3 5s or 6s, you could add a model back in. So yeah, didn't help you this time. So now the Terminators are going to speak, and we're going to fire everything we can at this unit of warriors here. There's 2 side cannons in this blob, and they hit on 4s because I moved. I'm re-rolling 1s, and these are Strength 7. Only 1 wound. It's AP -1, but +1 because you're within range of the barricade. So normal 4-up save. There's also 7 Stormbolters in that squad, which is 28 shots, raining in hot. These will hit on 3s and reroll 1s. Then after the reroll, we're wounding on 4s, but because you're within 3 inches of that obstacle, you're going to get +1 to your save. 14 3-up saves. That looks pretty good. 5 died in total, 5 reanimations on 5s, and you get 2 back. Yep. So I only killed 3. With the Fusillade coming out from the Terminators. My Grandmaster has got a side cannon. He can see him. He's hitting on 3s. And he's wounding on 3s. And those are 3-up saves. 4-up saves because it's -1. So 1 more on a warrior, sir. And 1 more reanimation. So yeah, I kill another one. Then the last thing to fire at the warrior squad is the Knight. But he's hitting on 4s because he's reduced, which become 5s because of the heat exchanger. So, can I get any through? Just 2.
Just 2.
Which both wound at -1, but again +1. So 2 4-up saves. And you make both of the saves. And that's all the firepower I can muster from inside the facility, just killing 4 warriors. But 2 of the Scorpic Destroyers, that is quite significant. Out here, none of these guys can shoot. I've killed 1 of the Scarabs so far. The plan is to kill a unit. So this Dread Knight needs to do all the things. Let's fire his Flamer of Doom, 2d6 auto hits, into the Scarabs for 5 hits. It's strength 6, your toughness 3, so I am winning on 2s, and there's 2 1s. And it's AP -1, so that is 3 wounds, and it will kill another base. Wow. Leaving 2 bases remaining, then the Gatling gun will hit on 4s, because I'm firing 3 trees. And kill on 3s, and 1 takes 2 wounds. They're not wiped out. And that's the end of my shooting phase. I had hoped they were dead. Okay, so let's do a charge then. It's an 11-inch charge through the trees, but I need to kill them. This could work. It doesn't work. I'm not going to CP reroll that because, you know, it was a long shot. But at least I have a chunky model in the Necrons deployment zone. I'm putting pressure down there, and I'm on 3 objectives. So at the end of battle round 1, it will be 1 point to the Grey Knights and 0 points to the Necrons. My Terminators are powered up and protected, ready from the firepower, which is about to ripple into them. Oh, you know what I just remembered? Paladins and Librarian in Deep Strike, they could have come in turn 1 because it's open play.
Ah, of course, yes.
But it's fine. That bomb will come in turn 2.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Yes, so let's find out how the Necrons respond in turn 2. And so it's 1 point to 0 in favour of the Grey Knights in this match of domination, but there is an objective under here somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere.
So now all the destroyers are here with the Scorpic Lord, and they control this objective. And the objective, one of the heat exchangers, and of course the Scarabs in the corner are still on 1. So you're now on 3 objectives, and it looks like there is going to be a wave of firepower hitting against the Grey Knights that are stood next to these cracking stasis tombs. Over here, he has got a trait which allows you to put D3 models back in. The Technomancer, but you weren't in range in the command phase.
It's only in the command phase.
In the command phase.
He's pulled forward, so assuming they're still there, you should be able to put a few more back in. So yes.
Yeah. Well, there's 2. How many are left in that squad?
There is 6.
6 left in that squad. I killed 4 last turn. Maybe I can kill 6 next turn. Who knows? But they're there. And then there was a large squad of warriors there with your Royal Warden.
Yeah, hiding in the back. Who has?
And they're here now. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So these ones have shifted around.
These are shifting around, but the squad with the Royal Warden over there have veiled of time and blinked in and out of reality and dropped down into this corner here. Now, all of these guns are within 12, so I don't get tired of shadows. +1 to my armor. And because they're within 12, you get +1 strength.
I do, yes.
So that's a lot of shots about to kill a strike team squad here. I tried to jump forward and kill a bunch of Scarabs and failed. You're trying to jump forward and kill a strike team. I think this is pretty... this should be pretty cut and dried. So there could be a devastating blow on the left flank and a devastating blow on the right flank as the Necrons power up their guns. So we're opening up the shooting phase down here, spending a CP on Relentless Onslaught. So any 6s to hit count as 2 hits.
Yes.
And there's 40 shots coming in. Okay, hitting on 3s, 6s explode. This is going to be painful. Look at all those 6s. So with the exploding 6s, 39 out of 40 hits. You got them all. 39 out of 40 hits. Strength 5. You haven't got them all.
I haven't got them all.
Yeah, tiny hands. Winning on 3s now because +1 strength in 12-inch range. And these are all AP -1, right?
Yes.
Okay. I got 25. 4 up saves to make. Each one of these doing 1 damage. 1 dead, 2 dead, 3 dead, 4 dead, 5. That's the squad. 6, 7, 8. You'd have killed 8. They're annihilated. And so after these warriors eliminate that strike team, we now have these warriors firing up against my interceptors. 18 can see.
Yeah.
So 3s, because you're not in rapid fire range right now. Yeah, 11 hits, winning on 4s. And these are AP -1, but I do get +1 because of the Tide of Shadows. So is that 5?
That's 5.
5 3-up saves coming up. 1 dude dies anyway. It's interesting to see the difference in brutality when some are within 12-inch range, particularly with that strat.
Yeah, it makes a massive difference.
As opposed to beyond 12-inch range. The difference between wiping out a squad entirely and just taking away one model. But you have killed an entire unit. And now it looks like you want to kill another entire unit. A Dread Knight on 4 wounds remaining. The Destroyers unleash everything into the Dread Knight. 18 heavy Gauss cannons hitting on 3s. Not bothering with the strat this time. I mean, he is a bit injured. Oh yeah, you're really rolling ones because you really hate things. There's another one there.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Sweet. So wounding on 4s, but re-rolling wound rolls of 1 because of the Scorpic Destroyer lore there. No ones, but there are many wounds. 8 4-up invulnerable saves. Each of these doing D3 damage. He's only on 4 wounds left. That's a dead Dread Knight. So, from the Destroyers, now we're on to the Doom Stalkers. They're hunting the Purgation Squad. This one here, yeah?
That's the one, yeah.
D6 shots then, firing in hot. And 3 shots this time. It'll hit on 4s because they're firing through the heat exchanger here. And it hits once.
Yeah, I'm not going to CP that.
No, wound them on a 2 though. And it's AP minus a bajillion, so I won't get a save. How much damage? D6?
D6 damage.
Okay, just don't roll a 1. You rolled a 1. One of them is injured?
Yeah.
I'm
going to CP that.
You are going to CP that. This is when another 1 turns up. No. Okay, you do kill 1. 1 Purgation dude dies. You now have 2 more Doom Stalkers of Doom. Do you know what you want to do with them? No? So you don't want to pick on the Terminators. You're going for the Purgation Squad. Let's do the second one. D6 shots. For 6 shots, will this do it? 4s to hit, 2s to hurt. And you have 3 hits. 2s to hurt them. I don't get a save. Actually, what is the AP? Because I do currently have a 2-up save because of the Tide of Shadows.
-5.
I don't get a save. Okay. 3d6 damage then. See how many you kill. I should have put Sanctuary on them. Wow. Okay, so 2 more die. There are 2 more remaining. Take him away. And him away. What are you doing with the last one? Same thing?
Same thing, yeah. Let's just see if we finish them off.
Wipe out my guns. That's a good call. 4 shots. Hitting on 4s. Killing on 2s almost. 3 hits this time. 2s to hurt them. 2 get through. Just don't roll 1-1 and you'll be okay. You rolled a 1. 1 Purgator dude is left stood there wondering where all of his buddies have gone once the smoke clears. That is the end of the Necron shooting phase. I don't think there's any charges coming up either. So that is the end of the Necrons turn 2. They are currently on 3 objectives. They have killed, completely wiped out, 2 of my units. So getting a point for killing more, I'd need to kill 3. Or at least even kill 2 to stop you getting that point.
Yeah.
But I've remembered that I've got stuff in Deep Strike as we go on to Grey Knight's turn 2. Here we are after the Grey Knight's turn. Out in the wilds, I did think about dropping this unit of Interceptors that were up here, down here, shooting, charging into this big swarm. However, with Paladin and Consolidation, your objective secured. I'm not. You'll get on that objective there, and I'm trying to get the Necrons off of these objectives. So I could hurt them. I could start chopping them up with my choppy chop. But yeah, they will end up scoring that. And you're currently on 3, and I want to push you off one of them. So the Dread Knight has moved around here, and he's going to shoot and charge. And the idea is not to kill all of these with the shots. So there's still 1 left, so I can go charging in. Instead, the Interceptors jump down this way, and I'm going to start dealing with Warrior Squad number 2. This Veil of Time, this teleportation that you've done to get you out into the wastes over here, it's a once per battle thing. So they're here now. They can take that objective. I'm kind of guarantee you an objective a turn every turn. So I need to make sure that whatever else I do in there, inside the facility, is significant enough to mitigate against this giveaway. So yeah, pressure out here, moving away from the Necrons. Then in the middle, you've put all your Destroyers around here, swinging around this way. So I'm not engaging them yet. Instead, Terminators moving forward. The last of the Purgation Squad, which I didn't have to roll a morale for, because the twist in this game is no one's going anywhere. No leadership tests. And then I dropped in my Paladin bomb And there's another one behind the wall there. With the librarian more than 9 inches away from that one, and that unit. But the unit of warriors are the closest. Because if I can smite you off that objective, basically if I fail to get you off that objective, I could potentially get you off this objective instead, or both. That's the plan. And then you've got the flanks, essentially. You'll have the flanks and that edge. I'll have a big footprint in the middle, and then we'll see what happens in turn 3, 4, 5. It's like tactics.
Yeah.
So what I need to do at the start is change the tide of the warp. I'm currently in the tide of shadows. I want to change it to the tide of convergence, which increases the range of my guns and also allows me to do mortal wounds in close combat. And it's a warp charge value of 4, and miraculously that passes. Then they're exposed up there, the Paladins. So my Grandmaster is going to throw Sanctuary out on them. I think it's a 6. That passes. So the tides have changed. The Paladins have a 4 up invulnerable save. Now I'm spending a CP on Psychic Channeling. My Librarian gets to roll 3 dice when he does his psychic things and pick which one he wants. And he's going to Vortex of Doom the warriors over here. I need a 7, and that's a 7. So the way this works is it's 2d3 mortal wounds plus 1 because he's Psychic Epitome. And that will be a total of 5 mortal wounds. And then he'll smite. And I roll 3 dice and pick, well, that will pass on the smite. So 5 so far. 6, 7, 8. Because plus 1 to thing, that's 8 mortal wounds on the warriors. How many warriors have you got there?
There are 6 left.
So they get wiped out because no reanimation protocols if there's no models remaining. So the Paladins are a bit exposed. So they have Purge Soul and Armoured Resilience. So I think I want Armoured Resilience on them. Gets their 2-up save up to a 1-up. And that passes. They're now 1-up save Terminators with a 4-up invulnerables. They're basically like Storm Shield Thunderhammer dudes. Plus 1 armor, plus 1 invuln. So hopefully they will stick around for a bit. So Librarian done, they're done. Astral Aim on him. Fails. That's it for the Psychic Menagerie in the middle. We're going to come over here and I'm going to smite and smite because I really want to hurt these warriors. So the first unit, the last smite was a 5, so this is going to be a 6. And that passes for 3 mortal wounds and then 3 reanimations. And you reroll 1s because you're warriors. So that kills 2. And then the second squad will also try smite 5, 6, 7 this time. And that passes. And that does another 2 mortal wounds, 2 reans. And I kill 1 more. So Mind Bullet's taking out 3?
Yep, 3.
3. Right. Now let's shoot some guns. Oh, before we move on to the shooting phase, I forgot one more thing. Yeah. Haloed in Soulfire. When a unit appears, I should have just mentioned this in the movement phase, but whenever unit appears from teleportation, the light is blinding you. It's too bright. So they're also -1 to hit until my next movement phase. So they're -1 to hit Hammer Shield Terminators. It's only 1 CP. It's a beautiful thing.
It is, yeah.
They're a problem.
Yeah, they're not going anywhere, are they?
Right, now let's shoot some guns. So I'm spending a CP on Cybolt Ammunition. This Grey Knights Codex is so CP hungry. What this does is, they lock and load. They drop the normal mass reactive rounds. They put in Cybolt Ammunition. And Cybolt Ammunition has got dust and fragments from the Golden Throne itself.
Okay.
Baked into the bolters. So it means my bolt weaponry becomes AP -1. But 6s to hit auto wound the target.
Okay.
And you're in rapid fire range. So there's 20 Stormbolt shots coming hot. 3s to hit. 3 6s and then 4s to wound. In the end, 5 wounds. So obviously didn't sweep up enough dust from around the Golden Throne there. No. 5-up saves. And re-rolling the... so 1 dies, yeah, and then you got the reans.
Yeah, so 4.
Yeah. 1 of them, and re-roll the 1. Okay, so 2.
2 down.
They killed 2 with the Halo Bolt of Fire from the Golden Throne. Right, let's rinse and repeat with the other squad, but without Cybolt Ammunition. And after rolling a hit and wounds, 6 wounds came through, 6 4-up saves. And you only failed 2, and then reanimation. And yeah, 2 get taken out, softening them up, ready for this charge. Okay, so that's the firepower from... Oh, no, that's not all the firepower from the Wasteland. I need to come over here. Now, I don't want those scarabs entirely dead. So, I think a flamer into them. And then the side bolter, the Gatling side bolter that way. So this flamer is 2d6 hits. I want this to be low. 10. I'm tempted to CP reroll. No, because I'm wounding on 2s and you don't get a save.
Yeah,
because I'm strength 6 -1. If I don't make this charge, mind you, how many objectives are you currently on now? You're only on 2.
Only on
because I blew them
2,
off of there.
Yeah, 2 including this one. Yeah, so.
And I'm on 3. I'm on 1, 2. No, I'm not. I'm on 2. I'm only on 2. I'm tempted to CP reroll this to get it low because 2s will kill them. And if I roll more than 3 1s, I'm not going to make this charge. I'm going to have to CP reroll that to get a lower number. 8. Okay, that's better. Yeah. What was that?
No, I was just saying, it's an unusual situation to be rolling to get less shots.
Yeah, I've never done it before. 2s will kill one, though. And there's 7 wounds in that squad. Strength 6 -1. I'm looking for 2 1s. I get 2 1s! 1's alive or 1 wound remaining, because that'll kill the base. Yeah, and that'll drop 1 down to 1 wound. See, that was a perfect use of CP efficiency. He's trying to feather the trigger or the flamer. He's trying to feather it perfectly. It's like, no, I've been told to dominate this battle grid. This is an objective which has been declared by the Necrons as... Well, I imagine these orange things pip up in their HUD. Like, this is a secure, this is a secure, this is the gateway, these are the clear things, you need to be here. I think, well, that's what I see. Anyway, having said all that, watch me fail a charge. Anyway, the Gatling silencer firing through the trees into the warriors on 4s and 3s. 3 at -1. So 3 5-ups. And then 5-up Riannes. And I kill 1 more. Okay, so that now is all the firepower in the wastes, hurting the Necrons around here. I am worried about these destroyers, but that's a problem for tomorrow. Now we have lots of storm bolters that basically can only fire at these big beasties back here. There might be a couple of side cannons that can hurt them as well. Right, let's try and put everything into one of them. The Tide of Shadows means my side weapons is 30 inch range now.
Okay.
So there's 1 side cannon in the Paladin squad. It's 4s because it's heavy and I moved. I'm strength 7. What's the toughness of these things?
6.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. So 3s to wound. I wound twice. AP -1, 2 damage. So 4 up and vulnerable saves?
4 ups, yeah.
Yep. Nice, 2 damage. Then the Storm Bolters from the Paladins hit on 3s. And wound on 5s, and nothing. See, I really want to fire at your character over there, but he is not the closest model, and he is within 3 inches of a model with more than 10 wounds, so I can't fire at him. So my Librarian, can I see any of the warriors over here? Because he's got a nasty gun. He can. Is he in range? Not in range of any of the destroyers that he can see. So he's going to fire his nastier gun, the Fury of Dimios, at one of your big beasties. So rapid fire 3 is 6 shots. He hits on 3s. Look at that.
Very nice.
But it's strength 5. So I need those 5s and 6s again. 5s and 6s. 1 at -2, 2 damage. So 1 more 5 up and 4 up. Oh, another 2 wounds. Mr. Purgator stood still. So no, so hits on 3s. And he wounds at -1, 2 damage on the thing. It's another 2 wounds. It's down to 6 left. The side cannons are in range because the tide has changed, but we moved. So 4s to hit because they're heavy. Rerolling 1s. There's a Grandmaster there. 3s to wound. 3 more wounds at -1, 2 damage on the Doom Stalker. 3 more 4-up and vulnerable saves. We chip it down. Okay. It's dead. There you go. Boom on a 5. Don't roll a 5. You roll a 1. And I don't think the Stormbolt was... all of this squad, by the way, was firing into it. So that's that squad done. He's fired. They can't see anything. They're out of range. That is the end of my shooting phase. That is the end of my psychic phase. You killed 2 units. I've now killed 2 units. I've killed one of the Doomstalkers. I killed the guys camping on that objective there. You're on 3 objectives. I'm currently on 2. I need to make some charges. The most critical charge is my Dread Knight charging round to stomp all over a Scarab base. How far does he go? 6? Am I 7 away? I can loop around the slowing terrain. Yes, that was enough to get the Dread Knight round to stomp on that Scarab swarm. Meanwhile, I did another charge. The interceptors couldn't really fail, went flying in against the warriors on the outskirts of the tomb. You did Overwatch, took a wound off the interceptors as they went in, but that's all the charges. I mean, I'm locking down this area. The Paladins are now too far away to charge anything. But a -1 to hit with a 4 up in Van, and they're pretty good. Oh, did I do the shrugs on these guys in the psychic phase? I forgot to do... They fail it anyway. It's a 6. That's their 5 up feel no pain thing.
Okay.
I didn't do their psychic power.
Right.
I need to remind myself to do that. They didn't. So they haven't got... They've got a 6 up feel no pain instead of a 5 up feel no pain because they're next to an apothecary.
Right.
Try and keep them alive. Oh, and I don't think I mentioned on camera either to anyone watching that at the end of the movement phase, I put another dude back in that squad. That's why there's 10 Terminators there.
So you want to go anywhere.
You killed 2 in turn 1, and now in turn 3, they're back up to full strength. So yeah, that's they're doing what I brought them to do, to be this chunking thing of doom. So that's working. Okay, so we're flying in here. Let's do some attacking. There's a guy with a pair of falchions, so that gets him up to 4 attacks. The Justicar's got a hammer. So let's hit with the falchions on 3s, and I wound on 4s, and that's -2, so you have a 6 up save. And that takes 1 out, and it'll do a mortal wound in addition, which we do at the end of all the attacks. There's another dude with some falchions. And he wounds on 4s. He doesn't wound. And then there's 2 guys with halberds, which hit on 3s. And these will wound on 3s. And that is 3 more 6 up saves on the warriors. Taking 2 more out. 2 mortal wounds so far. Then 4 attacks with Justicar. And hammers are unwieldy, so they hit on 4s. Wounding on 2s. And that is -2 again. So 3 more 6 up saves. Yeah. And 3 more die. And now, at the end of all of that, then you add the 3 mortal wounds in there as well. Swamp Song, how many did I get?
9.
9! 9! 9 wiped out in total. So we have 9 reanimations coming up for all these warriors I squished into the 5s. And they reroll 1s because they're...
Reroll 1s.
Nice.
So 4 back.
I didn't kill 9, I killed 5. So the interceptors thought they'd hacked down many of the warriors, but they just keep reanimating right in front of them, the living metal, stitching their bodies back together. And then the Dread Knight. It's the Scarab Swarm on 3s and mushes it on 2s, dead Scarab Swarm. He has been told to take that objective, and take that objective he has. In fact, a bit like the Necrons over here committing a lot of resources to take this objective, I've committed 155 points to take that objective. We're just flip sides there.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, now the warriors get to fight back. 7 warriors fighting back on 4s. And they get 4 hits through, and they wound on 4s. And they wound twice. One of my interceptors is injured, but he doesn't get taken out. His armor holds. And you have no morale, because in this scenario, everyone is fearless. No one has to take morale checks. And that is the end of Grey Knight's turn 3? Turn 2. Sorry, it is turn 2. So you wiped out 1-2 units.
Yep.
And I worked out 1, 2, 3 units. So I got 1 more unit than you. And I'm currently on 1, 2, 3 objectives. And you're currently on 1.
Yes.
You're currently on...
somewhere in here.
Yeah. So interestingly enough, at the end of turn 2, it is 3 points to the Grey Knights and 0 points to the Necrons. The Grey Knights are doing what Grey Knights do. But these guys are a bit... on the flank there.
Yeah, see what they can actually do something. Yeah.
And I could have moved round to engage them, but then next turn you'd have been all over me. I haven't been very Astartes. I haven't been very Space Marine-ish. There is a big threat there still. And these guys, well, they're big threats as we go on to Necrons turn 3. Here we are after Necron's movement phase in turn 3. The battle in the wasteland continues. The Royal Warden is on the objective, but still in range of the warriors, so he can't be targeted. And they're moving all around. And there's a unit of interceptors on that objective there. They are in trouble. The warriors that were locked up with the strike team, well, the other interceptor team, sorry, have fallen back. There's no point in staying engaged because I'll just get to kill them in the Necron turn. And by falling back, they're probably dead anyway. But then I have to deal with them in my turn. And if one warrior survives and stands on that objective, then you'll score it because your objective's secured. But you couldn't fall back far enough to get on to the objective. So still lots of bodies, still lots of things happening out here in the wastelands. Over here, the Scorpic Destroyer Lord is on that objective, and the destroyers have hopped up, some around the back there, and they've got a commanding field of fire down into the middle of the installation, and the Scorpic Destroyers ran, and they got a good advance, and they are on that objective there. So currently, you are on 2 objectives. You mean to get me off of one of the objectives here. And now we're going on to the shooting phase. So we're opening up the shooting phase with the destroyers, spending the CP on extermination protocols one more time. They are very angry. One gun is coming down into the last of the purgation squad. All the rest are going to wash down into the Paladins. So you're hitting on 4s though, because you're firing through the heat exchanger.
Yes. Yeah.
So 3 shots with a heavy Gauss cannon, hitting on 4s. And re-rolling 1s because you're angry. And that's 2 hits, and you're wounding on 3s, and re-rolling all failed wounds because you're very, very angry. 1 re-roll, 2 get through. I need 6s. I don't get any 6s, and that will kill him, and that's kill a unit. Now the rest of the shots into the Paladins. So 15 shots from heavy Gauss cannons firing at the Paladins, but they're haloed in silver light. You're hitting on 4s. They're glowing brightly. It's the light of the Emperor. But you do get to reroll 1s. That was really bad.
It was really bad, wasn't it?
And then winning on 3s, rerolling everything. Extermination of the protocols. And all the rerolls. Okay, that's nice.
That's
okay, so that converted. So I have 8 4-up invulnerable saves because of Shrank Sanctuary. Now's the time for... Mind you, you've only got 3 CP left. But each does D3. So yeah, now I need to burn a CP, which doesn't help me. So 5d3, 1 at a time though, because Paladins have 3 wounds each. So the first one's on 1 wound remaining. Then the second one will kill 1. And then the third one on 1 wound remaining, the fourth, and that will kill 1. And then the last shot. So you kill 2 and drop 1 down to 2 wounds. And then the heavy gun, the sting in the tail on a 4. And it hits, wounds on a 2. It wounds. 4-up invulnerable save. I failed the 4-up invulnerable save. That will kill the 3rd Paladin. Okay, so fairly successful in the end. What are you doing with the big guns of doom, sir?
Right, first one, going to be shooting the Librarian.
Yes.
And we'll see what happens
Yeah,
after
he's
that.
now exposed.
Yeah.
There's less than 3 models in front of him. Okay, D6 shots for 5 shots. The other thing about him, he isn't -1 to hit. He hasn't got a 4-up invulnerable save. This could sting. 3s to hit him. He's also my smite bomb. Oh, he only hit twice. 2s to wound. You wound him both times. He does have a 5-up invulnerable save. Doesn't make either of them. And I've already spent a CP reroll. 2d6 damage. He gets taken out.
Excellent.
That's my smite bomb gone. He can do so much damage. Okay, so the last one's firing at the Terminators?
Yep.
The Paladins, these guys?
Yes.
Okay, all right. D6 shots into them. For 6 shots again. Oh no. 4s to hit though. We're haloed in silver light. Keep me alive. They're shiny. Shiny and chrome. That was 3 hits, sir.
3.
We are shiny and chrome. 2s to wound.
Oh, okay.
Have you done CP? You haven't
I
done a
haven't
CP
done CP.
reroll.
I have not. No, I'm going to do that.
Okay.
Let's do one. Let's try and...
CP reroll coming up. It worked. 4-up invulnerable saves. I can't CP reroll. Oh dear. D6 damage, then D6 damage. You've got to do it separately. That doesn't kill 1. Yeah, so just the paragon of the Paladins is left alive. The twin gauge from the Stalker also thumped into the Paladin, but didn't manage to wound him. And that's all the firepower, all the green energy that we're going to see this turn crisscrossing the installation. So now we're coming back out here into the wastelands and spending a CP on Relentless Onslaught. So 6s explode, firing into the interceptors. So none are in rapid fire range, but there's 20 shots hitting on 3s right now. I'm looking for those 6s really. With those 6s, that's 22 hits out of 20 shots. Yep. You hit more times than you have guns. Forced wound at AP -1. When the dust settles, we have 13 4-up saves. 1's dead, 2's dead. I lucked out as well. Wiping out 2 of the interceptors here. That's the end of the Necrons turn 3. There's no charges coming on. They've killed 2 units entirely. The Destroyers are pushing back into the installation after hugging the edges. They know that they need to make these fleshy creatures bleed. As we go on to Grey Knights, turn 3. Here we are after the Grey Knights movement phase. The battle for the wastes continues. This unit of interceptors are jumping back to try and cut their way through the metal hordes while the second squad stays on the central objective and hunkers in deep. Now, this is an uphill struggle for these Grey Knights, but I have faith in them. I also have faith in my Nemesis Dread Knight suit to clear his way through 7 warriors that are remaining there. We thought there were 6, but we found another one hiding behind a corner. There's 7 warriors left there. They are objective secured. I need to kill them to a man, but I have faith in my Grey Knights and faith in the Emperor. The Necrons are currently on 3 objectives, including this one here, and the Scorpic Lord is on that one there, and I can't target him, so I'm not going to get you off of those 2 this turn. This is the objective that potentially I could get you off. I need to get rid of this guy, which means I need to get rid of the whole squad, which means everything here is going to focus in on that whole squad. That's the plan, because then I'm on 3, you're on, and you'll be only left on 2.
Yep.
If we both end up on 3, no one will get any points for that, and you might get a point for killing more. So it looks like the Necrons are making their way back into this game. The Grey Knights have got a good presence here, but there's, this is a problem, which means I'm not worried. I've got to leave them alone for a turn. I now need to start focusing on the Destroyers. The Destroyers are a problem. So let's do some psychic stuff to start off with. Now the Purgation Squad are all dead. I need to keep these alive. So my Grandmaster is going to chuck Sanctuary on them, and that passes. And they're going to smite up, which is a 5. And that's a super smite. That's an 11, which does 3 mortal wounds, which will kill one of these destroyers, but it's the psychic attack. So now, if you roll 3 5s and 6s, you put 1 back with the animation, right?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Because that's an attack from that squad. Oh, you do reanimate. So one of them gets blasted by lightning and immediately reforms. Okay, so smite done. They've got a 4-up in Vun. They need their 5-up feel no pain from the apothecary. And that passes, but it's a perils. So they take D3 mortal wounds for 1, and I shrug mortal wounds on a 5. So I'm fine. That's what Grey Knights do. We're okay. This barrier, by the way, has been a pain in the ass. It's taken me 3 turns to hop over it. This next one is going to smite, because he can't do anything else. He's got warp shaping. It'll hit them as well. And that passes for 2 mortal wounds this time. So one of them is down to 1 wound. So that's all their powers done. Purifying Flame now on the Paladin into these guys. This is a 5. And that passes. And that does a flat 3 mortal wounds, which you can reanimate. So 3 5s and 6s.
You do it again?
Can you do it again?
Oh,
no,
very close.
Just miss it by 1. So he takes out one of them. Yeah, Smite at 18-inch range does D3. Purifying Flame at 9-inch range just does a flat 3. It's beautiful. So that's one of them done. I just need to kill 3 more. What else are we doing? 5, 6, 7 on the Smite over here, which passes. D3 on these guys for 2. And he didn't manage to reanimate them. And then I came across here to the Dread Knight, and he hammer-handed, so he can re-roll wounds when he goes flying in. That is the end of my psychic phase. Now we need to shoot some guns Let's start with the Dread Knight mopping up this squad here. 2d6 shots with the flamers. That is 12 auto hits. I'm not gonna choose to roll lower this turn.
No, I can see why. Yeah.
3s to wound. AP -1. 8. I did 8.
8.
They're 4-up saves normally, right?
They are, yeah.
8 5-up saves on the warriors. Killed 5 so far, then the Gatling gun fires in. What I need to do is kill the last couple so they can't reanimate. And that is 3 more wounds at -1. 3 more 5-up saves. That's 2 more dead, and that's the squad. So the Dread Knight has done his job. He has secured this objective over here. Then we came to the Interceptors, firing everything into the warriors, and I killed 1 after reanimation. So they might have a bit more of an uphill struggle than the Dread Knight. I've got these fellows over here that can fire into the warriors as well, I just remembered. And they hit twice and wound twice. 2 more 4-ups and then 2 more 5-ups on the warriors. They're okay. Okay, so just 1. And I think you're 1 in the psychic phase as well. That's a problem. Right, back over here. Let's put everything into the Scorpic Destroyers. Starting off with my Paladin, who hits on a 3 and wounds on 5s. He doesn't do anything. So the strike team will hit on 4s. I'm firing through that generator. And... it only does 1 wound, firing through this thermal generator here. 1 3-up save on the Scorpic dudes. And he's fine. Okay, so now is probably the time for, Cybolt ammunition. Spending the 2 CP on Cybolt ammunition. Firing into these guys here. And you've just spent the CP on what now?
Whirling Onslaught.
What does that do?
It is -1 to wound them. That's
Really?
the phase, yeah.
So I'm going to be wounding these guys on 6s. Okay. Well, here's loads and loads of Stormbolters. They will hit you on 3s. I am re-rolling 1s though. 6s auto wound with Cybolt ammunition, but these now need 6s to wound because of Whirling Onslaught.
Yeah.
So 8 come through at -1. 4s. Okay. That takes 1 out and puts 1 down to 2 wounds. Then the side cannons fire in, which are heavy, and need 4s to wound because of your thingamajig. So 2 more 5-up saves on... 4-up save, sorry, because it's -1. So 1 takes 2 damage.
So that's the last.
That's that one gone. But that's the shots from here. So now you have reanimation 6 times. And if you get 3 5s and 6s, you can put 1 back. Because that's the shots from that unit. So then you do the reanimation. Yeah, that's how this works, I think. No,
not enough.
Okay. So now I have my captain, my Grandmaster firing up. And he hits twice. And he wounds once at AP -1. So 4-up save.
Nope.
And he takes 2 damage. He's on 1 wound left. And that's the end of my shooting phase. He's alive on 1 wound remaining.
Wound.
Do you get reanimation? It only works if a whole Waddle dies.
Yeah, if he's But he has living metal, so he'll get 1 wound back in my command phase.
So what we're saying is, my Paladin needs to make this charge. Otherwise, you control 3 objectives and I control 3 objectives. I'm worried as well because I haven't done... That's your shooty blob and those are your shooty things I've put in... I'm worried about the return fire. Okay, so let's charge. Let's see if I can make this charge. 10. He makes the charge. He is a Paladin after all, hopping over the barricade there. Now we come back down here to the strike team, charging into all of these warriors. And...
No, I'm not going to.
I think I make the charge. Am I 6 away? You've only got 2 CP left, so not choosing to overwatch. These guys can take it. We're fine. Well, my Paladin can take it. I have to start here with a Paladin. So, he has 5 attacks and a pair of falchions. Okay. He's a Paladin Paragon. He hits on 2s. And I missed 3 times. I'm only strength 4. But if I get a 6, it's a mortal wound in addition.
Okay, right, no problem.
I don't get any 6s, and I don't get any wounds. So I have to CP that with my last CP, because it's the difference between a point and not a point.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
And I don't wound him. I don't take him down. No, brothers, what have you done? You were supposed to clear them off that objective. Okay, back over here. Let's hit the warriors with my interceptors. Here are the dudes with falchions, which are hitting on 3s. And they're wounding on 4s. So 1 6-up save from the falchions. Nope. And then the halberds. They hit on 3s. And these will wound on 3s. And that is 4 more 6-up saves, sir. Hammer only hits once. And it wounds. Another 6-up save. And you fail that. So in total, 6 died. And then the 2 mortal wounds, we're adding that up. 8 have fallen in total, which is 8 reanimation protocols. Or 5-up rerolling 1s, because that's what warriors do. 1, 2, 3, 4. So out of the 8 attacks, 8 deaths, only 4 of them fell. Then the warriors pile in and they fight back. 8 of them can strike, hitting on 4s. Forced to wound. 2 wounds, 2 threat saves. I'm okay. So they hold. You still have that objective. Now we come back here to Scorpic Destroyer versus Paladin. The Destroyer strikes back with 4 attacks. He's hitting on 3s. And he's rerolling 1s, thank heavens. Okay, he hits 3 times. What's his strength?
It is.
It's more than
user, so 5.
Okay, so 3s to wound. 2 wounds.
2 wounds.
AP minus
3.
Okay, 5 up and vulnerable saves. What got armored resilience off him? No, that was last turn. So 5 up and vulnerable saves. And make 1 fail 1. My Paladin Paragon is down to 2 wounds remaining. And with these 2 duelists locked in mortal combat, that is the end of turn 3. And we're both on 3 objectives each. I'm on 1, 2, 3, you're on 3. So no one gets the extra point for being on more objectives. But I killed some warriors. Yep. And you killed my librarian and the purgation squad.
Yes.
So you killed more. So I get 0 points this turn. The Necrons get a point this turn, bringing them back into this fight at 3 points to 1 in favour of the Grey Knights. But more importantly, once he's gone, I've got a couple of guys here. And yeah, my footprint inside the installation is getting thinner and thinner. And I haven't been able to do any damage to the shooter unit of destroyers. And I haven't touched those 2 big Doom Stalkers this turn. So is this the turn the Necrons make the Grey Knights bleed? Let's find out in Necrons turn 4. Outside the alien facility out in the wastes, the warriors have stepped back and they can fire back in. They can fall back and shoot because a royal warden is overriding their protocols. As over on the other flank, the Dread Knight looks on. And then back here into the facility, the Scorpic Destroyer that was dueling the Paladin has jumped down into the heat exchanger and he's busily pressing buttons. So the warp energy in the air is crackling and getting stronger and stronger and stronger. The destroyers, the Doomstalkers, are in a target-rich environment. And the Scorpic Lord is still on this objective here, pressing buttons behind the scenes and means to snipe the Paragon. He has 2d3 shots for 4 shots. It's respectable. Yeah. I was waiting to see Snake Eyes there. He hits on 2s, I think. And he rerolls 1s because he's very angry. He has got the Destroyer Plague. And there's 2 1s. They're the ones. So 3 of them hit. Strength 6, toughness 4, wounding on 3s. AP minus a bajillion. And I make 1 of the invulnerable saves. How much damage does it do? Because he's got 2.
Only 1.
Because he's got 2 wounds left. He's down to 1 wound remaining. So we're on to the Doomstalker. 2 shots with the rapid fire Gauss array into the Paladin. The big guns going into the strike team on the heat exchanger. Here's the 2 shots into the Paladin. And 1 of them hits. It'll wound on a 4. It does wound him. And he's okay. And then we have D6 shots into the strike team on the objective. But it's minimum 3 because it's blast. Which hit on 3s. Oh no, 4s.
Because of the
and only one of them hits. It will wound on a 2. And it doesn't wound. Then we rinse and repeat with the second gun. Both of the Gauss flares did wound the Paladin this time. And he fails both of his saves because it's AP -1. So you take him out. And then D6 shots into the strike team. 3 shots this time, which hit on 4s. The heat sinks are shrouding them. 1 hit again, wounding on a 2 again. And that wounds. They have got Sanctuary. The Grandmaster foresaw this coming and cast a 4-up invulnerable save on them, which doesn't help them at all. And it's D6 damage. I don't have any CP left, so I'm not going to be able to manipulate any of the dice, any of the damage that come through to my teams this turn. With only 4 of the strike team remaining, they're about to get lit up by the destroyers, spending the CP on extermination elimination protocols one more time, but it is forced to hit them with all the heavy Gauss cannons. But you do reroll 1s because there's the Scorpic. Well, you're angry anyway. 3s to wound, rerolling everything, and then rerolling everything. So only two misses there, and the reroll helped you once. So that's an impressive array of wounding. Gauss fire comes lashing in. I have 10 4-up invulnerable saves to make, and I do quite well. I make half of them. So each of these does D3, and we need to do them one at a time because they might not die. So first one doesn't kill one, and then the second one will, and then the third one kills one, the fourth one kills one. That's the squad. And that's the second unit that the Necron warriors have destroyed. Now we come out here to the wasteland. We have 28 rapid fire Gauss shots hitting on 3s. And wounding on 3s, +1 strength at this range. 12 wounds came through, 12 4-up saves. One's dead, another one's dead, another one's dead, and one was injured anyway. So it'll be just the Justicar left with a hammer. So the Royal Warden aims his gun at him, 4 shots hitting on 3s. And he only hits once, but he will wound on a 3. He doesn't wound. And that's the end of the shooting phase. So the warriors charge. And the Justicar is surrounded. 14 warriors attack now, hitting on 4s. And they're angry. They hit 10 times. They wound on 4s. But only 4 wounds come through. The Justicar takes a wound and he holds. And then he lifts his mighty hammer of doom. And he hits back on 4s. 1 hit the floor. And he'll wound on 2s. And that is 3 6-up saves that the warriors need to make. And one of them survives. Yeah, that will do. That was definitely a 6 from my angle. And then 2 5-up shrugs for Rian. Nope, no. He takes out 2. He's injured. He takes 2 down with him. He's in a Space Marine happy place, surrounded by foul Xenos. And so at the end of turn 4, the Necrons are on 1, 2, 3 objectives. And they've killed 2 units. They killed the Paladin and they killed the strike team here. So I need to get on. I'm on 3 right now. So no one's going to score points because I'm not on 3 right now. I'm on 2. So if I jump on there, that's 3 each. And if I kill 2 somehow, I'll stop the Necron scoring points this turn. But it's going to be hard to kill 2. Mind you, there is the Scorpic Lord sticking his nose up there. He could die quite easily. But killing a whole other squad, that's going to be tricky. As we go into Grey Knights turn 4. Here we are after the Grey Knight's movement phase. The Dread Knight has been ordered to hold and secure that objective, so he will hold, and there's no way that he's backing down from a fight. My Justicar from the Interceptors, he will stay there and fight. The other 2 Interceptors are holding on to the objective in the centre. I'm currently on 3, the Necrons are on 3, because my Grandmaster hopped up here. Turns out that these terrain pieces are quite high. So the only thing that can see down onto that Scorpic Lord on 2 wounds remaining is my Grandmaster. Can't smite him because smite hits line of sight and range. And we've worked out hopping up and over the barricade, it will be a 9-inch charge because I mean to go charging into the destroyers. over there. I'm running out of assets. I've got these models here, some interceptors, an interceptor and a dread knight. I'm running very low on assets. Mind you, it's been a brutal game for the Necrons as well.
Yes.
So yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to kill more. I think the Necrons will turn away, get an extra point out of it this turn. It should be 3-2 as we go into turn 5. Should be. But if I can somehow make this charge. Anyway, first, I must sanctuary my Grand Master because he's going to get shot at by everything. And I need him alive on that objective. So he sanctuaries himself, which passes. And the Terminators will try and put 5 up, feel no pain on themselves. I think that fails. The Aegis Eternal is a warp charge value of 6. I did get a CP back this turn, so I could CP reroll that, but I'd rather keep it in my pocket for something else. Because there's 10 guys in turn 4. That's good enough for me. The Apothecary will smite. I mean, what else is he going to do? And that fails. That needed a 5. Okay, at least I got Sanctuary on my Grandmaster. Over here, he's going to smite in. And that fails. Oh no, the Psychic phase is getting shut down. They're out of range, but my Dread Knight is in smite range. And that fails as well. So the only Psychic power I managed to get off is Sanctuary, but at least that's the one I wanted to get off. Now my Grandmaster will try and shoot down at that Scorpic Lord. And it's 3s to hit because it's a heavy gun and he moved and everything hits. And it's 3s to wound. And I wound twice. It's AP -1, but you get +1 because you're in the thing.
Yep.
So 3-up saves or death. And you save. He's alive. Okay. Stormbolters then. At destroyers. See, if I shoot everything at your destroyers, you'll pull that one away.
Yeah.
And it's going to make the charge crazy. So do I shoot everything at a destroyer? Yeah. Let's shoot everything at a destroyer. And when I said destroyer, I meant Doomstalker. The Terminators fired everything into them, and I did 1 wound. That's the end of my shooting phase. I've killed nothing. So it's about this charge. And I kept a CP in my pocket. For this 9-inch glorious charge moment. You have got 1 CP you could overwatch if you wanted to. Or are you saving that as well for something else?
I'm going to save that, yeah, just in case, yeah.
9 inches for the Emperor. I make it 10. Okay, at the end of the charge phase, we end up like this. Then after piling in, we end up like this, which kind of leaves the Apothecary hanging. Now, if I'd have got off that Psychic power, so they could have shrugged on 5s instead of 6s, I'd have left them trail to the Apothecary, but it's turn 5 next turn, so don't need the Apothecary anymore. This is where we end up after piling in. Now we get to fight. Right, I'm spending that CP I got then on the Steel Heart. That's my Fury the First. That's my +1 to hit. Because there's 4 hammers there. They're all over there. 3 attacks each. So instead of hitting on 4s, I'm hitting on 3s with all these hammers. And I got a lot of 2s. 7 hits, I'm strength 8. So wounding on 3s. And it looks like that. And they're all minus... You have to do them separately, actually.
Okay.
No, you don't have to do them separately. No. They're all -2, 3 damage. It's because 6s to wound with the Tide of Convergence is an extra damage, but they're 3 damage each anyway, so they will kill a destroyer if you fail one. So yeah, 5 up saves.
5 ups, yeah.
Yep. Oh my!
Wow.
That's good. Right, next up a sword, which hits on 2s, and the sword is strength 5, so wounding on 4s. And that's 1 at -3.
So 6.
Yep. And that's 2 damage. Then the halberd hits on 2s. And the halberd at strength 6 will wound on 3s. And that's 2 at -2. So 2 5-ups. No. And that's 4 damage. So I killed 2 and a bit. And the bit was the mortal wound, which killed the 3rd one. Then I get to consolidate. And we end up like that, and now you've got 9 reanimation dice to chuck. And one of them gets back up.
Gets back up, yep.
So out of the 7 destroyers, I killed 2 with half of the Terminator squads. That was, well, you rolled a lot of 6s. Yeah. But it's Necrons. They are tough. They are more machine than man. Well, in fact, they're all machine and no man. They're not even men, because they're Necron tier.
That's true.
So I don't even know if that applies to...
No, I don't
well, they
think
were
so.
Necron tier, and now they're just... I don't know what they are anymore, but they're Xenos, and they must die. Right, defenders get to fight first here. 11 Necron warriors left, striking on 4s. Can they bring the Justicar down? Maybe not this time, because they only get 3 hits through. Or 4 hits through.
Yeah, 4.
4's to wound. He's only got 1 wound. Come on, you can do it. Oh,
Ooh,
1. 1 wound. 3 up or death. He's alive. And he's a Justicar with a hammer, which is 4 attacks. And he hits 3 times. Oh, he's angry. He killed all his mates. 2's to wound. 2 6-up saves. 5 up. Yeah, 6-up saves. And then 2 reanimation. He will dig his way through you. Bit by bit by bit. You reroll the 1s for reanimation rolls. Okay, so I only killed 1. So he will dig his way through you. Bit by bit by bit. 10 left. 1, like whack-a-mole. They keep popping up. I keep knocking them down again. So at the end of Grey Knight's turn 4, we're both on 3 objectives.
Yep.
But you definitely killed more.
Yes.
So it was 3 points to 1 in favour of the Grey Knights. It's 3 points to 2 in favour of... 1 minute, you get to fight back. Right, we did the fight back. Only one of the destroyers could fight because only 1 was engaged. No wounds caused to the Terminators, and it is 3 points to 2 in favour of the Grey Knights. You've killed more. We're on the same number of objectives. It's only 1 point in it as we head to turn 5. Inside the facility, the heat exchangers are throbbing. My Grandmaster hanging on for his life inside this heart of a dying sun. These creatures thrashing against their caskets here as reality is breaking apart. The Grey Knights mean to stop this warp trickery. The Necrons know not what they do. Meanwhile, out in the wilds, a single Justicar is battling for his life as we head on to Necrons, turn 5. 3 points to 2. 1 point in it for the Necrons just to draw this game out in the wastelands. The Royal Warden tells his warriors to step back and open fire 1 more time. If they can't bring him down in close combat, maybe they can take that Justicar down with the last volley of firepower. He is on 1 wound, and that will be a unit killed. And then over here, there's 2 characters hanging in the wind, and 2 Doomstalkers up there that could target them, and that would be more units killed. Now, your destroyers, you haven't done hard about this for a while.
Yeah, this was quite a big decision.
Because you're thinking about breaking them out of combat, but then they can't shoot, then they can't do anything, but you could potentially smother an objective. But if you smothered an objective, then the Terminators...
They can just shift on and...
Yeah,
to this one as well. So
the Terminators, there's an objective under that Scorpic Lord, which is now Scorpic Destroyer, which is now up to full wounds. They could have just swarmed him.
Yeah.
And their troops as well, to be honest. They wouldn't even need to kill him to score that. They just jump there. Right now, they're not scoring anything. Mm. So you've kept your destroyers in close combat, hoping they could take the blows.
That's the idea, anyway.
The fury of Titan is about to rain upon them. But if 1 destroyer is left alive, then I can't fall back and shoot and, And also, when I pile in, I have to go to the closest unit, and the Scorpic Lord is on here. So, okay, that's the plan round here. Keep the boys from Titan tied up and shoot at the characters. Shall we do that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Which character would you like to target first?
Well, let's...
You just have to kill a unit. He's got Sanctuary on and he's -1 to hit. He hasn't. And he's got less wounds.
Yeah, let's put this one into the apothecary down there.
Okay.
And see what happens.
Okay, D6 shots. D6 if you could roll a 1, that'd be lovely.
Let's see.
No, that's not a 1, that's a 4.
That.
4 shots.
That's reasonable.
Hitting on 3s. You've got 2 CP to play with as well. And you hit 3 times and you'll wound him on 2s. And you wound him twice.
Yeah.
You happy with that?
Yeah,
no, I'm
going to save it just for,
Okay. 5 up and vulnerable saves, and make them both. Sorry. Doomstalker number 2? 24 in range? Tickly thing? Not in range.
No, just out. Okay, so second one.
Okay.
Same again.
Okay, D6 shots. Here we go. For 2 shots.
Now I want to use that one.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, down to 1 command point remaining. You gained 1 this turn. It got worse. It got worse.
Always the way.
3s to hit. It hits. 2s to wound. It wounds. 5 up and vulnerable. I can't do this 3 times in a row, can I?
I'm sure you will.
Can I? I can't. Right, D6 damage. He's got 5 wounds. A 5/6. You've got a 1/3 chance of killing him. You kill him. 1 minute. Does his apothecary thing work on himself? Yes, it does. Yep. It's Grey Knight's infantry units. He's an infantry unit. He's in range of himself. If I make a 6, he's alive. Okay? Okay. He's alive. So you don't kill a unit in the facility. The apothecary manages to hang in there. However, out in the wild, you're spending your CP on disintegration capacitors. There's 20 shots about to wash in to my Justicar, and 6s to hit, auto wound. Okay, death by firing squad, maybe. 3s to hit. Really looking for those 6s. There's 2 6s right there. 2 4-ups. He's dead. He's dead. Those wounds, you wipe him out. And that's a unit gone. The heroic Justicar could not hang in there. That's the end of the shooting phase. There's no charges. So now we're on to the fight phase. And the Terminators pile in. Right, there's 7 in combat this time, but no +1 to hit.
Yep.
So here's the hammers, which hit on 4s. Only 4 hits. 3s to wound. No! 2 halberds. They all hit. And these are strength 6. So I will wound on 3s. That many at -2. So 4 5-up saves. And they do 2 damage each. That'll kill 2.
Yep.
And then there's the guy with a stave, who's my sergeant equivalent. And he hits 3 times. And at strength 7, he wounds. And that's only -1. But it does through 3 damage. Because that would have killed one utterly. Yeah. Then there's a mortal wound sting in the tail. Now you've got reanimation on 2 of the dudes. So 5s and 6s. No, I do kill 2, but that's enough to do what you intended to do. And then the destroyers fought back and did no wounds to the Terminators, and that is the end of Necrons. Turn 5. They've killed a unit. They're on 3 objectives. 1, 2, 3. So unless I kill a unit and or get on an objective more than you, you will draw this game.
Yes.
You've beaten us to a bloody stalemate. So let me go away and think. In Grey Knights, turn 5. So here we are after the Grey Knights movement phase in turn 5. I've got 4 units, so I can't move off these 3 objectives here because I give you a point.
Yeah.
So I've got 5 objectives, but 1 is locked in close combat. So I've got 4 units that I can move, and one of them is the apothecary. So it's all about the apothecary. Basically, if I can charge or kill that Scorpic Destroyer down there, I stop you from drawing the game.
Yes.
It's as simple as that. And there's 2 ways I can do it. And one is with my Grandmaster by shooting you, and the other way is by making an 8 or 9 inch charge. I think if we worked it out, up and over and into the thing. So I stayed still with my Grandmaster because he's got a side cannon. He'll hit on 2s. Kill the Scorpic Destroyer, win the game. Simple as that. And I missed twice. I win on a 3. I wound you. It's -1 but +1 because you're in there. It will do 2 damage. Okay, so he's okay. He holds. Okay. Now it's a charge with the Paladin. I got a CP back.
Yep.
So I can re-roll this. Yeah, he's got 5 attacks. He's brutal. If he gets in there, he's still a Grey Knight. He's Grey Knight Apothecary. And that's an 8. Now we need to triple check our measurements. Okay, he's easily in. He gets there. 5 attacks for my Apothecary to win the game. Now, I quite like this. I like the fact that these heat exchangers have been powering up these warp creatures. There's a rift crackling open. And maybe him pressing the buttons is the final thing to make this place go nuclear. And if my Apothecary does this, we win and we can teleport out of there. If I fail this, then the Necrons have achieved their mission by, well, they don't know what they do. They're following ancient protocols and this place will get sucked into the 3rd dimension of hell. Right, I need to hit you with my halberd, and I don't know if I'm hitting on 3s or 2s. I'm assuming it's 3s because he's not a Paladin. And he hits 3 times. Yes, he hits on 3s. So now I'm strength 6, so I need 3s to wound. And I fail every single time. And so I need to CP reroll with my CP. Now, not only do I need a thing, but I need a 6 for the mortal wound in addition. So, anyway, you get a 5-up save. You get a 5-up save. And you make the save. The apothecary fails in his task. Now, even if you turn around and kill the apothecary or not, it doesn't matter. Because your whole army has objective secured. So I haven't taken that objective off of you. So you have 3 objectives. I have 3 objectives. You killed 1 thing. I killed nothing. So you get another point. So at the end of turn 5, it's 3 points each. It's a draw. But the Necrons, the Grey Knights came to this place to stop this warp trickery happening. So while, as the points say, 3 points each is a draw, as far as I'm concerned, narratively speaking, we did not stop you.
Yes.
So this is the way this world ends. Okay, so after both sides battered each other to a bloody stalemate with a high body count on both sides, yeah, it's a draw. Swamp Song, what do you think of Grey Knights?
Very good, yeah. And yeah, just basically to stay as far away as possible, I think, is the...
Is this your first time against Grey Knights?
It is, yes. Yeah. Never taken them on before, so yeah. Interesting, but... Yeah.
Well, they die like Space Marines. They're just like Space Marines. But do they feel different than fighting normal Space Marines?
Yeah, well, in as much as just chucking out all the mortal wounds makes a big difference.
Yes.
It's nice that it's still only toughness 4 and have the same save as, so as long as you can keep your distance, it's not too bad. But don't get too close.
Well, your army, I mean, you paid the Terminator tax at the start. You were like, okay, I'm going to hit them. And then you thought, no, that's just...
Not worth it. Not worth going down that route.
I might have overbuffed that unit. I'm not sure. Because after 1 turn of you shooting at them, you decided not to shoot at them anymore. Maybe I don't need 10. Maybe I only need 8 or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, they did what I wanted them to do. But your army has got... I mean, these guys didn't really have much of a target to fire at because there's no vehicles here.
No, that's the problem. Yeah, that was a bit of a waste. But they still held their own. But yeah.
Well, I mean, they're good. For 140 points, they're much better than the Doomsday Arcs if you've got the buffing character nearby.
Yeah.
You just don't want to move them.
Yeah.
Destroyers are still good. They always have been good.
Yeah, fantastic.
Shooty Destroyers, really good. Like them. Like the 2 big squads of 20 guys.
Yeah.
Was worried about you dropping this unit out here. But essentially, in the end of the day, you got 10 guys left and they took this objective. Yeah. They took this objective. And we switched places. Maybe I should have sent the interceptors over there and left the Dread Knight moving around here. But I saw an opening, which I guess that's what left the gap here, which is why you dropped these back here.
Yeah. I don't. If had the Dread Knight still been back there, I probably wouldn't have done that.
Might have dropped them over there instead. If the Dread Knight had stayed around here to protect this area and put the interceptors forward, yeah, and exactly the same thing would have happened. It would have been these guys fighting up there rather than down here. This was fated to happen. In the middle, however, one of the things that I found really annoying right at the very start was this barricade here.
Definitely slows you down.
Mind you don't know what kind of deployment you're going to draw when you do open wars. I mean, when Dawn of War came up, I was like, wow, that's the first time I've ever seen that in like forever. Normally it's really janky deployments. So, and then when I put my models down, I thought, oh, I'm stuck. It took me 3 turns to cross a barricade. Brilliant stuff. We didn't get to see him. We didn't get to see his match. Does he normally do work for you?
Yeah, he's nasty if you get him up close. But again, he didn't really have the opportunity, so it just felt more sensible to keep him held back there.
Yeah, I guess there's an objective there. I guess he was buffing the unit to allow them to...
he did a lot to help them, and yeah. In the end, he did. That's what he ended up doing in the end.
If you got to run the mission back, instead of sneaking the destroyers round there, would have you pushed them up the middle and just gone hell for leather, or do you think keeping them protected round the edges was the right move? In hindsight,
possibly. But again, I didn't want to get. I was just trying. Everything was just about trying to keep my distance.
Yeah.
You know, not trying to get too close to anything. But
you're right, because Grey Knights again in close combat nasty, within smite range nasty. The trick to keeping Grey Knights at bay is by dancing around the edges of them. I think so, because they die like normal Space Marines, as mentioned. But yeah, I do like this unit. I do like the Preservers. I do like it with the Apothecary. I fancy my chances with those guys up against something big and nasty. Particularly with a 4-up Invulnerable Save with Sanctuary on. Particularly with a 5-up Shrug. I fancy my chances with that unit against something big and nasty. I think I'll run that one again at some time. Because it's not too much of a point sink. You can still... I mean, it's 400... It actually is quite a bit of a point sink, but it leaves you over 1,200, 1,300 points to play around with other stuff.
Yes, yeah.
So, and a commanding presence in the middle of the table did what I set it out to do, which is no one came near it. So, yeah, it could be a match play thing as well, that sort of thing. I'm not sure. Anyway, very much enjoyed that. It turned out to be very tactical. I was 3-0 and then you dragged your way back into it for a clutch draw.
It didn't go very well right at the beginning, but pulled it back, so yeah.
It's the first time you'd seen an enemy like this.
Yes.
All shiny and chrome. Right, we'll wrap up there. The battle mats from P-Work Wargames. All this scenery is from GameMat.eu. If you'd like to support me, or if you'd like more videos from Winter's SEA, or indeed Play on Tabletop, or a number of the other contributors, then please consider subscribing to www.deploymentzone.tv. It's where the magic happens. It's where our Discord community is. It's how we met.
It is, yep.
And like on the DZ Day,
yes.
There's lots of events and things happening. There's another couple of DZ Days this year. There's the 100-man event at Firestorm Games in Cardiff. There's the Narrative event happening at the end of the year. There's like 3 events already lined up for next year. And these are events, not tournament, people. This is a community thing. This is about trying to get the community together to roll dice, have fun, get drunk, stuff like that. Loads of tournaments out there. If people are interested in tournaments, then check out Facebook, check out your Instagrams, check out all the stuff like that. And Games Workshop, there's loads of different tournaments out there. But the Deployment Zone is, we're trying to grow a community. And it's growing, bit by bit. More events, more things. And it feeds me. So thank you to everyone who is subscribed to the Deployment Zone. And we hope you enjoyed that battle report. Happy wargaming.